So up next, this is huge news. I'm telling you, I know I sound like a broken record, but there is a lot of huge news. Right now, there's somebody in the live chat rightfully saying, then why do you keep talking about wrestling? Fair point.
I know. Fran has left the building.
All right. So this is from our friends over at trekmovie.com. And the news was Nicholas Meyer gives us an update on Star Trek Con, Ceti Alpha V, and why making it an audio drama is perfect. What do you guys think? You read these. You know how he feels. What do you think? Audio drama perfect?
Brilliant idea that hasn't been touched upon nearly enough in this age of streaming and podcast and all of that. Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
Like, who knows where they can go from here? It's great.
Yeah.
And while you have like writers who are steeped in the history, why not have them working? The other thing is the funny thing is how everything comes around.
You have like a Star Trek hairpin.
I got a headband at New York Comic Con.
Oh, that's so great.
It's so fun. They had ones with Enterprise too. It's like an actual badge, so it's kind of heavy. But don't tell Tuvok. He doesn't like Star Trek he doesn't like uniform accessories worn incorrectly. But the interesting thing is like how everything comes around and is cyclical. Like before there was TV, there were audio, like there were radio dramas, which I love. I think they're so fun and they really like, even though there's no image, I used to listen to them all the time on the radio. They really like sweep you up. So I just feel like, why not bring them back? And it's such a great medium.
Yeah. And he talks about how the medium uses probably one of the biggest tools that gets overlooked across the board in any art form. And that's the imagination. And there's no training that you need to use to spark the imagination, and listening to these radio plays or radio dramas is really good use of that tool of the imagination, which is awesome. I love that.
I just watched this series that was about it's called like WREN Radio or something, like Remember When Radio. It was an AMC show from like the 90s. Yeah. And it's basically set in like a 1930s radio station where they're making basically audio dramas. And it is cool, like the sound effects that go into it and the music. And it's such an art form and really like showcases the sound editors, which Star Trek has like an abundance of amazing sound editors. So I just feel like this is a match made in heaven. And I can't wait. And I really hope it spawns more projects like this.
Agreed. Yeah.
Those are great points. And I also agree. Glenn Iverson in the live chat says, I miss the days of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant, and Ric Flair. Glenn Iverson, here's a bit of trivia for you. I met one of those five guys you mentioned. I met one of them. Which one was it? And also, here's another piece of information. Do you remember the wrestler Leaping Lanny Poffo? He later was also called the Genius Lanny Poffo. He was actually Randy Macho Man Savage's brother. What? If you can believe that. I know. Randy oh yeah. That guy. Yeah. His brother was Leaping Lanny Poffo. Anyway.
Yeah, see, that's when I watched wrestling was with those guys.
Still going on. He was in TNA wrestling, Macho Man. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, Main Event Mafia. It's pretty cool. So back to this audio drama.
Oh.
I think it's going to be...
Oh, yes. Foley artist was the other word I was looking for. The sound mixers, editors, and the Foley artists. Yeah.
Foley artists are so freaking creative, especially with something like this audio drama. So the question is like, is it just going to be people sitting around a microphone and reading lines? I mean, first of all, when you do an audio drama, that means you can travel in time. And I mean travel in time with actors. That means Tim Russ can play, for example, Tuvok on Voyager. Nowadays, he can't do that because he's much older. I mean, I know there's technology and stuff, but anybody can play anything at any time in their life if it's just an audio drama.
Like Walter Koenig.
Like Walter did, right, in Picard.
Exactly.
So these are great because it really opens up your mind to the possibility that you can do practically anything when you go into audio dramas. So maybe they're kind of opening that door to see what can we do, what can't we do. But I was just going to say,
mentioned twice recently in series that are out now. So I also wonder, is like, it just seemed, especially that Picard Con reference seemed so random.
Right, I'd forgotten about that one. Strange New Worlds was the obvious one.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're just like, why would they have said that? At least on Picard.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been waiting for them to tie that up or revisit it somehow. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, and Strange New World's been covering it. Obviously, we know the connections there.
Massive hit of an episode that's like showing up all over the Laffy Awards tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I was a fan of, well, we'll get into that a little later. So the other thing is, are they just going to have actors around a microphone, or are they going to throw a ton of money at it and do like, have the Foley artists when they go, well, I was just walking over here, and all of a sudden you're like, how like they would put like the people's feet, or like, oh, I'm fighting, and they're like busting cantaloupes to make it sound like their face exploded or something.
That's a fun job.
Very, very creative job. The people that do that, and they're always like, oh, what? I just get you need a guy breaking his arm. All right. And they get celery sticks. They're like, that's what they do. It sounds great.
They're like Dan Curry.
I was totally thinking that. It's like the guy who did the Christmas light alien and like Ugly Bags of Mostly Water. Just so random. Love it.
Wow. And it makes me think of Annie.
Exactly.
Annie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're totally just without a smile, Ryan.
Yes.
The only Annie I know is fanny pack, because that makes me look cool when I wear it outside. My fluorescent pink fanny pack from 1990.
Wow.
John Orchiola says in the live chat, who will they cast to voice Khan? Benedict Cumberbatch.
Man, I thought about that. They're definitely going to find somebody good for it. I'm not saying, John, that Cumberbatch wasn't great, but
he's not Khan. He's not Khan. I'm sorry, but I like him in other things. I think that was just miscasting.
It was weird. It was definitely, they had an Indian guy, and then they had like a Mexican actor playing him, and then they had a British actor playing him again. Like, why not just get an Indian guy? I don't know.
Well, I would have thought like they would do like his early years based on like how Strange New Worlds just had him in an episode, but then obviously they say Ceti Alpha V in the article, and that's been announced, so we kind of already know the time period for this one's more obvious.
Yeah,
you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. And John Orchiola also reminds us he was also the genius Lanny Poffo. That's right. It was a better gimmick for him than Leaping Lanny. I didn't even know what's this Leaping Lanny Poffo? Right, Anne-Marie?
Yeah.
Why
and then of
leaping?
Course, well, we mentioned this before, but Nicholas Meyer was a guest on Larry Nemechek's Portal 47 open house a week or two ago. And he mentioned like, well, who knows where this could lead, if it could lead to something on the screen.
Right.
So I guess all options are open.